So with these high prices of trucks, is it still worth becoming an owner operator? How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Make Money Trucking. So I've been getting a lot of questions. I made a couple videos now, did a few live streams about the crazy, insane, overpriced, used semi-truck market right now. It is absolutely out of this world. It's ridiculous. I hate to see it. It's sad to see, trucks that were $40,000 are now $70,000 plus, and especially I'm seeing a lot of high mileage trucks out there that are selling for prices as if like a 700,000 mile truck is selling for the price as if it only had 300 or 400,000 miles. And so the question I'm being asked is it still worth looking at becoming an owner operator, and is now the right time? Should I wait? Should I still stay as a company driver? And or given that some of the rates have gone up, like I made some videos on that as well, is it worth it? So I'm going to answer that question the best of my ability. Obviously there's going to be a lot of factors. There might be some things that I don't cover because sometimes you can't cover every single scenario, but I'm going to give you a yes to yes, it's still worth it, and no, it's not worth it. So first, let's be optimistic here. The yes scenario being worth it, if you are a company driver and you know of places that you can go as an owner operator and get work, or some friends of yours or some other guys, you talk to some drivers and you know that they are already owner operators and doing a good job, that is the biggest thing, is knowing where to go to work. I definitely wouldn't suggest in this with a certain situation with high priced trucks, high priced repairs, because it all trickles down, right? So the high priced trucks are gonna be a big factor, but also shop rates are gonna be going up. The price of parts has gone up a little bit as well. So if you know where you can go get work at, and I understand that nothing's ever guaranteed, but you can get a pretty good, solid, guarantee that there's somewhere for you to go to work, or you have some good, some good info. But yeah, so definitely do your research and find companies that you're willing to go to. And obviously in this market, you gotta, if you're willing to travel, I mean, this goes without being said, is that you've got to be willing to go outside of your normal either comfort zone, or if you're willing to maybe go over the road if you want to be local, or vice versa. So that's the first thing. If you can find the work and have a good place or a good idea of where to go. But I definitely wouldn't go off half-cocked without knowing, don't buy a truck not knowing where you're going to go to work. So definitely that would be the first thing. And if you can find that and you have a good solid foundation to work off of, buying an overpriced truck is not the worst thing, as long as it's not too overpriced. I know I'm talking in a lot of generalizations here, but a truck that should be $40,000, if you buy it at 50, maybe even 60,000, is not as bad as buying it at 70 or 80,000, if that makes sense. So if you find an okay deal in this market, because all trucks are overpriced right now, but if you can find a decent deal, like you're not paying as much over as other trucks are, look at the market. I spend a lot of time on truck paper myself, and I just mentally look at the prices and kind of lock them in my mind. And then so when I find a truck that I'm like, oh, okay, usually a lot of those trucks are around 50,000, and then I find one that's like 45 or 50, that would be a good place to start. All right. So if you can get good solid work and you find a decent, okay deal on a truck, you're not going to find a good deal on a truck right now. They're all overpriced. I mean, it's going to be very hard to find a great deal right now. Everything's overpriced. So if you can get solid work lined up and you've got that checked off the list, and you can find an okay, decent deal, like you're not getting bent over as bad as you could have, I would say yes, it is still a very good time to become an owner-operator. Especially as we come into 2022, it's projected to be a really good production year, a highly productive year. As things start to open up more, there's still a lot of backlog of, supply and demand. So that's going to be, there's going to be a lot more supply coming online. And with that, these things need to be transported. So I think the rates will continue to go up as well. They've already gone up within the last year to year and a half. In some markets, more significantly than others. My market, it's gone up a little bit, not as much as I would have liked. But in like the flatbed over the road market, reefer, a lot of the specialized areas, it's definitely gone up substantially. Now in your generalized like over the road freight market, I don't know what it's done. I've heard it's gone up, like maybe it's gone up, it has gone up, but not as much as those specialized markets. So that scenario, so let's talk about the other scenario where it would not be a good idea. If you don't have a solid line on where to go to work, or if you do not have a good, if you can't find a good deal or a decent deal on a truck, if all the trucks you're looking at are way overpriced, that is the first, you're setting yourself up for failure. I mean, if the first business transaction you do is paying too much for a truck, way too much, that's gonna hurt you more than it's gonna help you. And then if you don't know where to go, you might get lucky. But yeah, then I would suggest waiting it out. Now there's a third scenario. What I like to tell people out there and tell you guys out there that you're interested in becoming an owner operator, but you're always like, well, maybe I'll wait next year. I always deter people from that, but right now is one of those rare scenarios, because a lot of people will keep saying, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll get to it next month, or a year, or next year, and they keep on putting off, their their dream, essentially, if you can call it that. So in this scenario, it may not be a horrible idea to wait a little while. So yeah, waiting is not the most horrible thing right now. If you have a good job and you're not too unhappy where you're at, and you can still make good money as a company driver. Because remember, owner ops are making more money, so are company drivers. I pretty much say across the board. I mean, there's probably some areas that haven't gone up that much, but I'm assuming if our rates are going up, company driver rates have gone up as well. So it may not be a bad idea. Stick it out, hang in there, maybe a few more months, 6 months, a year, I'd say a year at the most, maybe 6 months. If you're in a really good position where you can save a lot of money, and you're just worried about that higher truck price, but you have a good place to go work, maybe save up that little bit of extra money to absorb some of that higher cost for the truck, if you definitely know where you can go as an owner operator and work. But all right, guys, hopefully this helped you out. Hopefully this answers a lot of questions. I know the truck market sucks right now. It's way overpriced. Hopefully, supply catches up with demand. I think it's only a matter of time before they start pumping out a bunch of new trucks, and guys will start selling their used trucks, and then used trucks will start flooding the market as the new trucks start to come in. But right now, it looks like we're going to have this issue for the next 6 months to a year at least. I think it might start, and I'm just kind of guessing, educated guess here. I'm not an economist. I don't know anything other than what I see online and what I can guesstimate. But from the articles I've read and people I've talked to, it sounds like maybe 6 months we might see some breakthrough. But that all depends on the factories and the production of trucks. If they have a snag or there's a hurdle in the production, the production system, then that could put us in the exact same spot that we're in right now in 6 months. But hopefully in 6 months things start to get better, and in a year and beyond things start to normalize a little bit. But all right, guys, thank you for watching. As always, I appreciate you, and hopefully you guys found this informative, and I'll see you on the next one.